make sure you're listening to this when you can relax completely, when you can just drift off to sleep. Don't listen to this if your attention is required elsewhere, or if you're likely to be disturbed. And as you listen to this, I don't know if it'll be the sound of my voice that helps you drift off to sleep comfortably, or whether it'll be the spaces between my words, or whether it'll be the story itself that helps you relax and fall asleep. So with your eyes closed as you listen to me, I'll tell you the story. And there was an owner who sat at home one day. And their dog was very intuitive. Their dog seemed to be able to have some level of insight into how the owner felt. And the dog noticed that the owner seemed to be down, seemed not to be feeling too good. When the owner walked around, they walked slowly. They didn't smile very often. They didn't seem very happy. And the dog wanted to know, how can I cheer my owner up? And so the dog went and sat on the owner's lap with a big smile on his face, panting away, wagging his tail. And nudging the owner with his head. And the owner initially was a bit unresponsive, but then after a short while the owner started hugging the dog and started stroking the dog. And the two of them sat there for a while, just hugging and enjoying some affection. And the dog wondered what else they could do to help their owner to be happier. So they decided to take their owner for a walk. They climbed down off the owner's lap, padded around on the floor, wagging their tail. They went and got their lead, which they felt seemed to be the sign of going for a walk. And they brought the lead to the owner, and the owner attached the lead. And they took the owner out for a walk. And they decided to walk the owner to the nearby park. And they walked quite fast to try to make sure the owner didn't have time to be stopping too often and thinking inside their head. They wanted to keep the owner on their toes. And in the park, they decided to play fetch the ball with the owner. They encouraged the owner to throw the ball, while they ran and collected it and brought it back. And they knew the faster they could bring the ball back, the more attention the owner would have to pay to playing the game than to thinking in their mind. And after playing the ball game for a while, they went back to the owner and got the owner to walk with them deeper into the park. And they slowed down their walking as they passed other people who were also with their dogs. And the owner would say, "All right," and others would acknowledge them and smile. And when others would smile, the owner smiled back. And the dog noticed that this made the owner happier. There was something about getting fresh air, seeing other people, smiling at people and having people smile back, not being able to have time to be inside their own head, that seemed to make the owner happier. So the dog decided to keep the owner walking. They walked the owner through the park, and then down a road, and then into another park, then over a hill, and down to the beach. And the owner and the dog walked along the beach, listening to the rolling sound of the waves as they landed on the shore, listening to the sound of the waves dragging some of the shore back out to sea, listening to the sounds of the birds in the sky, rustling leaves, other people talking in the background. The dog could feel the warmth of the sun on his fur. The owner could feel the warmth of the sun on their face. And the dog took the owner to a bench looking out over the sea. And it sat next to the bench, and the owner sat next to him. And then the dog climbed up on the owner's lap, resting on the owner's lap, as the owner hugged the dog and gazed out over the sea, and felt the warmth of the dog's breath, the warmth of the dog's fur, the gentle touch of the dog's paws, and the owner could feel the dog breathing, could feel its heart rate, and it just felt so relaxing. Having this friend there for them. then after a while someone came over and asked if they could pet the dog, and the owner said okay. The dog smiled as this person pet the dog. And then someone else came over and did the same. And this person also struck up conversation with the owner about how they had a similar dog and about some of their interests, and asked whether the owner liked sitting on the beach, what sort of things they liked. And the owner and this person got talking, and the person sat down on the bench next to the owner while stroking the dog's head. And the two of them sat there for hours, gazing out to sea, just chatting about their interests. The dog knew that if he could just get the owner out, just get the owner into situations where other people could approach them, then maybe they'd get some company, maybe they'd find something to focus on that's positive in their life. And the owner and their friend exchanged contact details before the owner got the dog and started walking home. And they just took a leisurely stroll home along the seafront, taking in the sound of the sea, before heading over the hill, up the road, into the park, into the other park. And then eventually, after a long walk, they arrived back at home. And after settling in at home, the dog noticed how the owner seemed so much happier now. The owner had a smile on their face. And the dog knew that any time they need to help cheer up their owner, they just have to take them out for a walk. And as the story comes to an end, so you can just continue to relax and drift off asleep, relaxing and drifting off asleep. That's it.